Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. My name is Joe, and I am a weapon of mass instruction. Alright, I've been trying to make this episode for a couple of days now, and hopefully this time it works, and if not, then oh well, fuck it. I want to showcase a weapon tonight that I just bought a couple weeks ago. I had a chance to fan fire 50 rounds through it, and I double-checked the zero with 10 extra rounds, and it was spot on. And this weapon is the Israeli Galil. And I think it is a thing of beauty. Some others might disagree. Basically, it's an AK-47 that is chambered for 5.56 by 45 or 223. And the Israelis developed this system because the two most common weapons used by Western militaries at the time that this was designed in the 60s were the FAL, all right, Belgian design, very accurate, very precise. It was chambered in 7.62 by 51, and it was a very, very good gun, very reliable. However, pause for effect, it had one serious drawback, and that is actually shared by the AR-15 series, designed by Armalite and then Colt, and pretty much based on the Stoner design. I think that guy was a great, great guy for coming up with his idea. Too bad that it didn't work out the way he wanted it to. Anyway, pretty much those two major weapon systems had this one major flaw, and that is in certain desert or jungle environments, they don't do so well. They tend to get dust and dirt and dampness and all sorts of crazy crap building up in the chamber and inside the barrel, causes some serious jamming issues. AR-15 kind of overcame that after it was figured out the hard way what was going on, and the U.S. Defense Department decided to have the chrome-lined barrel and bolt carrier thrown back in there the way it was supposed to be designed, and that improved it somewhat. But it's still kind of a finicky gun, and it's hard to argue for the AR-15 when you're talking about gas impingement versus gas piston. Gas piston was designed a little bit earlier than gas impingement, if I'm not mistaken, and it's just more reliable. More weapons use it. It's got better research and R&D into it, and there's a couple of firearms out there that use gas impingement, but I'm not a big fan of it. It's just a little bit finicky, that's all. But, so anyway, the Israelis said, okay, well, these two great rifles aren't so great in the desert where we are. However, the Russians and the Arabs are using the AK-47, and we really need to have something that's got the same durability. And so they said, well, what can we do to make it better? So they hired IMI, Israeli Military Industries, to design this weapon for them. And the original design was for 5.56, like this one is. This is a Golani Sporter, by the way, not an original Galil, but it's got most of the same exact parts. They were just shipped over here, put together by Century Arms, and what couldn't be shipped over, i.e. the bolt carrier, was created here in the United States. So this is a semi-automatic carbine variant of the Galil AR. AR standing for assault rifle, of course. And so they basically said, okay, what are we going to take from the AK-47? As you can see, they took basically the same design layout, that carrier, gas piston, gas tube assembly up top instead of underneath like the M14 has it, which I think is actually a good thing because it helps to improve, I think, your stock weld, your cheek weld. I've practiced a little bit on M14s, not too much, or M1As you might call them, and you kind of have to get down real low in order to sight in properly, and it kind of can be a pain in the ass if you're not used to it. But I like this because it's very similar in design as far as the sight profile as the AR-15. Not totally the same, obviously you don't have this whole carrying handle set up back here, however, you don't have to sit your eye too close down to the stock. And I like that. You got the aperture and then the front sight post set up, and it's a very comfortable, familiar system to me. I can use it with both eyes open. I maintain peripheral vision, all sorts of stuff. As you can see, it's got an AR-15 style birdcage compensator up there, which is nice. It helps to improve stability when used in semi-automatic fire, helps to hide your flash, and it helps, well, in this case, not so much normally. If you didn't have these ports at the bottom, it would help to keep the gas from shooting into the dirt when firing in the prone position. But whatevs. But it's got the same bolt assembly as the AK-47. The bolt sits in line with the barrel, and it's got the gas piston up top with the recoil spring up there. Inside of the bulk carrier, inside of the bolt, it's designed a little bit differently, and I'm not exactly sure how to break it down that far. I got to talk to my gunsmith again about that. I wasn't really paying attention to that part of the lesson. But it's got this charging handle up here. The AK-47 charging handle sticks straight out to the side. And for right-handed shooters, that can be detrimental, because once you load your magazine, you have to take your hand off of that charging handle or flip that rifle and chicken wing it in order to cock it with your left hand. Either way, it's kind of a pain in the ass. So they designed it with this bent charging handle, which for right-handed shooters is awesome, because all you have to do is put your hand right up there and you're good. For me, it's just perfect. AK, Galil, either one is just fine. I'm a lefty, so either way I could just charge it, or up top, one way or the other works just fine. The magazine was designed to hold 35 rounds. Just tonight, when I went and chambered this rifle, I discovered that, like the AR-15, it does have issues when loaded to full capacity, so I decided to lighten it down to 33 rounds per magazine, which, as you can see, are taped together. Overall, the rifle unloaded weighs about 11 pounds, which is, I believe, 2 pounds heavier than the AK-47. The reason for that is the receiver is made of milled steel instead of stamped steel, if I got that right. Basically, it's a little bit more durable, but it's also a little bit heavier, which is fine. Also, the buttstock, also made of steel, steel tubing, and as you can see, it sits straight along the plane of the rifle, which I love as far as recoil compensation. The AK's stock bends down a little bit, kind of makes it kick up a little higher because the overall balance point of the rifle is higher than where the stock is, if you'll notice. So this kind of helps to improve accuracy a little bit, as well as help to maintain good stock weld while aiming through the sights. And so overall, basically, I see a really, really nice weapon. It's accurate out to 500 yards. That's what these iron sights are rated for. 0 was just about perfect. I didn't need to touch it at 30 yards, so it's good for a 300-yard BZO, or Battle Sight 0. So in terms of self-defense, I just leave it on my 03 sights here, and it's good. I might have to aim a little bit high at extreme close range, like 10 feet to 30 yards, but other than that, I mean, you know, it's really no problem. You know, aim a little bit high at close range. And that's with this particular rifle, simply because of the path of the round as it follows its trajectory. Really can't complain. The handguard is nice and contoured. It doesn't sit straight. It actually has a slight curvature to it, which is nice when I'm holding it at the ready. You know, my hand isn't quite as torqued with an AR-15, M16A4 or M4A2 style with the quad rail. All that is flat, and it's very rough on the hands when you have to hold it like this for an extended period of time. But this has that curvature, helps me out with that. You know, very nice. I actually found online a place that has a replacement handguard made of plastic polymer, which has a quad rail on it. So I might take a look at that when I get another bit of cash flow coming in. Having a quad rail would be nice, especially if that top rail sits right on top of the gas tube right here. It would be awesome to have the ability to mount some sort of optic, like a red dot reflex sight. Very, very handy for close quarters, and that's pretty much what this rifle is going to be for. It's close quarters. I would love to have something with an M4 length barrel, but I really can't complain. This right here, I believe is 20 inches, and its overall length is that of the AK. Maybe a little bit longer because of that compensator, but whatever. You know, not to mention I can fold this stock in and pretty much leave it this way. With as little recoil as I feel just shooting it, I could fire from the standing, you know, chicken wing it, no problem. You know, I could hit a human-sized target 10 feet away like this, you know, 15 feet away if I had to, and it's very portable. So I could do that, maybe mount a laser sight to it, all sorts of different things. But I think overall it's a very nice, handy weapon. It's a good all-around gun, very durable, very reliable, just as reliable as the AK-47. So that's what I've got tonight. You know, it also happens to be my favorite weapon in Call of Duty Black Ops, but I digress. I hope you liked what I had to show. I imagine I'll be doing a lot of episodes in the future using this particular weapon as opposed to my Bursa from now on, simply because it's got a similar profile to a shotgun. You know, long arms in general are going to feel the same when you pick them up. So, you know, I'll be able to simulate that when I'm talking about shotgun home defense or, you know, even rifle home defense. So you'll see a lot more of this in the future, and hopefully some other weapons when I get a chance to. Again, I hope you enjoyed it. Send me some comments my way. Hit that like button if you like what you see. Go ahead and subscribe if you want some more. I'm going to keep doing it regardless, but you'll at least have that little video pop up in your subscriptions folder whenever you log in. So that'll be pretty handy. Again, my name is Joe. I'm a weapon of mass instruction. I hope everybody's having a happy and fun-filled holiday. I know I am. You all have enjoy. Good night.